2311 Racing announced a crew chief change for the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series season. Bootie Barker will no longer serve as crew chief of Bubba Wallace's number 23 team, who will call his final race on the pit box next weekend at Phoenix. Barker will stay with 2311, but will move to a new role at Airspeed with the competition leadership team. He said in a statement, 2311 has been good to me, and I hope I have been as good for 2311. Loyalty is important to me, and I will continue to do all I can to help everyone here succeed in my new role. I was fortunate to be part of the 2311's inception, and I look forward to being part of the team's continued journey. That was from Bootie Barker as well. Now, Charles Denike will become Wallace's new crew chief in 2025, who has been serving as Christian Ekes's crew chief in the Truck Series. Now, Denike said he's excited to work with Wallace next year, and he believes in the culture the team has built at Airspeed. Photo and graphic courtesy of 2311 Racing. Now, after seeing Tyler Reddick's number 45 team make the championship 4, while Bubba Wallace's number 23 team completely missed the playoffs, do you think this crew chief change was in fact very necessary?
Yes, I'm going to go with, for sure, they needed to mix something up with the 23 team. And after Reddick's, to use the word I used on commentary on Sunday, miraculous win late on at Homestead, it's much like Verstappen and Perez a little bit in Formula One. You've got one guy doing all the good stuff while the other guy's floundering. Not as much Wallace, of course, against Perez. More on that later. But this needed to happen. He's been doing okay in the last few weeks. He ran up front in the early stages at Homestead on Sunday, but then faded throughout the middle portion of the race. And that's kind of been a little bit of the story of the last couple of years for Wallace. He started the season slowly, it feels like, and then got better as sort of the middle, but it's been too late perhaps for him to point his way in to a playoff spot, and then had some good runs during the playoffs. But of course, being on the outside looking in, it doesn't really get picked up so much. So there's been problems and some real bad luck at times for that team. So just needed a little bit of a freshen up. And we talked about crew chiefs on the show last week with the Paul Wolf situation with Logano. They need someone to come in there in the 23 team and just streamline everything and make sure that Wallace gets himself into the playoffs, because that is a race winning and potentially championship winning organization in 10 days time. So they needed to freshen it up and go with a 2-driver run for the championship next season. Adam says Bootie Barker is an outstanding crew chief. Lots of respect to him. Yeah, and he's been around the sport for a very, very long time, in and out of the crew chief role with many teams over the last 10, 12 years, even more, more than that. So be a shame to lose him from the pit box. But for the 23 team in the 2311 stable, I feel like it should be hopefully a good move for them. And that crew chief, Ekes's crew chief, they've won 2 of the last 3 races in the truck series, going towards the playoffs for their championship race in a couple of weeks. So yeah, he knows what he's doing to get a race winning car together. Of course, big step up for him coming from the trucks to the Cup Series. Ben says in his 3 years prior with 2311, Wallace has either won a race after missing the playoffs or pointed his way in without winning a race, unless he wins at Martinsville or Phoenix. He'll have done neither this year. Something definitely has to change for 25, and that kind of goes back to my point a little bit from before, that he kind of starts slowly and builds through. This year it just hasn't happened for him, apart from a few sort of half races where he's been up the front or in contention.